Ducati refuses to stand still despite sticking with GP24 engine. Ducati will be racing with its 2024 engine for the next 2 seasons. However, this is far from the victory that rivals have been hoping for, despite the buzz surrounding the decision. Just 2 weeks after the conclusion of preseason testing for the 2025 MotoGP season, the grid is set to return to action in Buriram for practice ahead of the Thai Grand Prix. Ducati, however, has made waves by opting to stick with a year-old engine, though not without some hidden refinements. Over the 5 days of testing this February, the biggest storyline revolved around whether Ducati would abandon its GP25 engine in favor of the dominant GP24, which won 16 of last season's 20 races. The answer became increasingly apparent after the first day in Buriram and was officially confirmed on Thursday. With a 2-year engine freeze in place and no substantial gains from the GP25 power unit, Ducati made the pragmatic call to continue with the tried-and-tested GP24. As expected, factory riders Marc Marquez and Francesco Bagnaia remained tight-lipped about the specifics of the 2025 engine. Bagnaia admitted on Wednesday that the new engine struggled with braking balance, while Marquez noted very weak points. Interestingly, Pecco even confessed to misleading the media, revealing that he had known from the start that the GP24 was the likely choice for this season. Ducati's decision was also influenced by past preseason struggles. The troublesome GP22 engine forced the factory team to switch to a hybrid version, while the GP23 suffered from braking issues that were only resolved with the GP24. The latter is arguably the best MotoGP bike Ducati has ever built, and some would argue the best in MotoGP history. What may seem like a winter crisis is actually a luxury for the reigning champions. Ducati's strength remains undeniable. Ducati confirmed that its factory riders would likely start the season with the GP24 engine, as well as its 2024 aerodynamics and chassis. Bagnaia cautiously referred to his bike as a GP24.9, hinting at some unseen tweaks. Yet some critics claim that Ducati's decision to stick with its 2024 setup is a sign of stagnation. Good news for its competitors. Well, not quite. In the 2024 season, the GP24's average winning margin over the closest non-Ducati rival was around 3.5 seconds. While rival manufacturers have made strides over the winter, it's unlikely that they have closed that kind of gap in just a few months. 2025 Buriram test, fastest lap per manufacturer. Ducati, 1 meter 28.855, Marc Marquez. Aprilia, 29.06, Marco Bezzecchi. KTM, 1 meter 29.133, Joe Acosta. Honda, 1 meter 29.133. Yamaha, 1 meter 29.586, Fabio Quartararo. The Marquez brothers dominated the timing sheets at Buriram over 2 days, with Ducati sweeping all 3 preseason tests. Alex Marquez topped the timesheet seats in Barcelona and Sepang on his Gresini-run GP24, while Marc set the pace in Buriram on a GP25 hybrid. Although he missed out on the outright lap record by just 0.155 seconds, his performance still sent a clear message. While lap times make headlines, race simulations often tell a more important story. Marc Marquez's average race pace over 23 laps was 0.518 seconds faster than the fastest race lap ever set in Thailand, Marco Bezzecchi's GP22 lap from 2023. Even more impressively, Marquez never lapped slower than 1 meter 31 during his simulation. He downplayed the significance, suggesting that Alex Marquez could have been closer if not for electronic issues. But regardless of the details, one thing is clear: Ducati is still the team to beat. The hidden strength of Ducati's strategy. One crucial factor not immediately evident in the raw data is Bagnaia's struggles early in the Buriram test. He faced a tough opening day, where nothing seemed to work as expected on his bike. This forced him to start from zero on the final day, though his team managed to turn things around and restore his confidence. Bagnaia finished 5th overall in the combined times, but did not complete a full race simulation. Still, he expressed satisfaction with his pace on used tires. Ducati's decision to shelve the 2025 chassis may come as a surprise, especially since Bagnaia had initially pushed for its introduction last year. However, based on preseason results, it may have been the right call. The chassis was tested at Misano last September, on a track Ducati knows well, with ideal conditions and fresh rubber from the previous race weekend. The same happened in Barcelona last November. In contrast, Buriram's conditions exposed its limitations. Given this, holding back both the 2025 chassis and aerodynamics isn't necessarily a setback. The first 4 races take place at unique circuits: Buriram, Termas de Rio Hondo, Coda, and Lusail, none of which provide a true representation of how the season will unfold. Ducati plans to reintroduce its 2025 developments at the Jerez test in late April, where breakthroughs in the past 2 seasons played a crucial role in Bagnaya's title campaigns. Ducati's rivals should be worried. By sticking with the GP24 package, Ducati remains highly competitive in the opening rounds. And Bagnaya's reflections should be a cause for concern among his competitors. "I was pretty sure from the beginning that the 24 was better," he admitted. "Then we worked hard, trying to improve. But from the first day in Malaysia, both Mark and I had the same opinion. The GP24 was still a bit better. We tried to improve braking, but we couldn't. So we worked a lot with the 24, and we understood that we still have a small advantage. That's great." Even with a small margin, Ducati's performance remains formidable. While General Manager Gigi Dall'Igna may be disappointed by the lack of progress with the GP25, the fact remains: Ducati is still setting the pace. Their rivals may have hoped for a breakthrough, but as of now, the reigning champions are still very much in control.